regarding this past weekend. What a amazing week and weekend for UND softball and everyone that's been involved in our program. The support that we had come out for our opener was really, more than we probably could have imagined. To see the crowd full like that for us, and played a great game against a great opponent, which I think helped out the environment. But really just a great day for our program and for softball in this region to see a really well played ball game, and to see all the young kids that were out there and that interacted with our girls afterwards was just an awesome experience.
Coach, we talked a lot about the park. Just kind of curious, where are you at with your roster in terms of what are your focuses this offseason in terms of maybe we're good at this, we need to get better at this. Where do you guys sit competitively?
Yeah, we have a really large roster, more than probably. I haven't looked at everybody's sites so far, but probably more than anybody in our conference right now. And so the fall is really for that, is to try to figure out who will be those 9 that get an opportunity to go out there a lot, who gets to make travel squads. And so we're putting a lot of people on the field. We played all 27 healthy bodies through the weekend. And we'll continue to do that through the fall. But I think the 2 things that we're always going to rest on is we want solid pitching and we want to play good defense. And if we can do those 2 things, our offense will take over. But I think if you were just looking from the weekend, it's we got to clean up some defensive things, and we've got to be able to hit the ball a little bit better.
Coach, obviously, the fall league is, preparation for spring ball. How important is it to see the development in your roster here?
Well, it's huge, right? That is the number one reason that we play fall ball. I've said this throughout the kind of couple of weeks leading up to this, is we're trying to tamper down some expectations for the game, because it still is fall ball. It still is used for development. We still want to get everybody in, but that first one was so important for us. Like, we wanted to get a win on the board in that game, but we just want to continue to, we've got 11 new players on our roster, and so we've got to get them a lot of playing time so we actually know what we have going into the spring. But that will continue to be the focus. All of our pitchers will get opportunities, all of our young kids will get opportunities, everybody will get a chance, and we just want to be able at the end of the fall to say we've given everybody a pretty equal opportunity and the cream will rise.
All right, and final question I have for you is what's the biggest thing you've seen so far from preseason stuff and getting ready, and from that first game, what's the biggest jump or takeaway that you've seen?
Honestly, I was really pleased with how we handled ourselves on that day. Like, that's probably more people than any of our players have ever played in front of, and I thought we handled it really, really well. There were some nerves for sure, but I thought we settled in really well. So that was really cool for me to see in that environment that our athletes were able to handle that and be able to play good softball in that environment. But I think our pitching was strong. Like, we threw 2 quality games, and we're going to need that.
You talked about last week how the field kind of had its quirks. Have you guys kind of adjusted to those, or what else do you guys have to figure out?
No, not yet. Nothing really. Thankfully, nothing quirky happened in that game, but our opposing team hit one out in BP, and the ball came rolling back to the infield. They're like, oh, that's new. They hit one. I'm like, yeah, that's a thing. But no, we didn't have anything. I think one thing that nobody hit it out, but like, there's opportunity for fan interference, which is like unheard of in softball. But no, nothing happened. Thankfully, we were okay.
You already talked about kind of some of those highlights from the grand opening, but did you have one specific moment that you realized that this stadium was yours and you had a team like that to back behind you?
I think it was the second we walked out of the Pollard and saw how many people were actually there waiting for us to come in. And the crowd filled out nicely, but just everything that was set up for us and the people that were standing there waiting to get inside, and then how quickly they came in and filled up the stands, that was just the feeling of, holy cow, this is something today, and this is going to be something big for our program as we go forward.